Scouts will discover us, and not long after that begins total squirrel Armageddon. So we—
And I quote, my cousin calls this
the amputee game.
Hey guys, I'm Eilu. We're here today with another React video, and just a reminder, you guys can check me out live on twitch.tv/Eilucat at 5 p.m. EST on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Today we're gonna check out some Reggie, so let's hit it. My editor hates his life.
Cyrus Linnaeus, otherwise known as the humble tree squirrel. Peaceful, fluffy, and unassuming, but what if it wanted to consume your flesh? In today's challenge, I will be crash landing 10 colonists on a planet full of rapidly replicating killer squirrels. We have 16 days to establish a base camp before the squirrel onslaught begins. On day 17, one manhunt.
For those of you that don't already know, Shark Sleep, who you've seen around sometimes, that's Seagull Bro. I know he watches Reggie. What the heck?
Squirrel
Paid
will
actor,
spawn
paid
and
chatter.
attack us. The amount of squirrels that spawns doubles every day according to this graph. This may not
Cool.
seem threatening, but if you've passed grade 6 math, you'll know it won't take long
I did not.
before we're being assaulted by hundreds of squirrels every day. Our goal is to survive 28 days of Squirrel Armageddon and establish ourselves.
He's there. I thought for a second I was like gaslighting myself, but I'm not. My brother is in Reggie's video and he's holding what looks like an AK-47. Why would you give that to him? Reggie, why?
As the dominant life form on the planet. But before we can begin this challenge, I have an exciting announcement to make. For the first time in the 5-year history of this channel, we finally have an actual sponsor. And it's real this time, not like last year when I pretended to be sponsored by a sex toy company. This video is officially sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. It's the RPG PvP gaming experience of your lifetime. Available now on iOS and Android with millions of players, actually very good graphics, and constant updates. Ready is the answer to every question you've ever asked. My favorite champion? It could be Tashada. I mean, just look at those stats. Or even
Ratty.
Saris. She can support me any day. But if I'm being honest, it's Broadmaw, because it's attainable for a guy like me.
It's because he's gonna fucking eat you.
Just want to get all lost up in them folds, boy, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Oh, Raid! As you can tell, love is in the air this month. And new players can participate in Raid's Valentine's-themed love quest. Just download Raid from the links below and head to the
Valentine's Day love quest, huh? Just mock us a little more.
address on screen to enter your player ID and begin your personal love quest. Play the Valentine's-themed minigames for a chance to win virtual and real prizes such as Raid Champions and even Amazon gift cards up to $1,000. Additionally, everyone can use promo code SaintValentine23 to receive a Valentine's Day gift straight from me to you. Create your own unique place
Does it mean we're like an item now? Like, you're my Saikuno?
style with over 600
I hate you for getting the Uzi and I
millions of
don't.
ways to customize your team. Battle countless bosses, expand your roster, and assert your masculinity by coupling your phone's power supply to your pacemaker, thus ensuring you'll always be able to play Raid Shadow Legends, or else you're already dead. Click my link in the description below.
We're already dead
scan my
inside, it's
QR
fine.
code to download Raid and receive $30 of in-game items, including 200,000 silver and free epic champion Chonaru. Thank you, Raid, for sponsoring this video. Now let's begin. I've decided that if I'm going to commit genocide, I can at least enlist the help of some experts. So I picked my—
When there's that many squirrels on screen, it looks like a terrifying amount of peanuts. And you have a peanut allergy.
my 10 starting colonists randomly from the comments section on
That's
my most
why.
recent video. With such a diverse and intimidating team, I felt as though we might actually have a chance at this.
I love the fact that we're all nuggets. Propos.
We crash landed on this alien world, 10
Slick,
men
what's up?
against
Welcome
an
in.
entire planet.
Dude, please tell me it doesn't fall in the whole thing. It's just his battle. One shark against all the squirrels.
Of squirrels. Collectively, we are the can that is to be crushed. However, with a little ingenuity, we just might be able to survive. I began by surveying the area to identify the most defensible position. It was a mixture of mountainous terrain and rainforest vegetation. Not ideal, but it has potential. We have only 16 days until the squirrels
Everything is not frozen. It is not Canada.
Scouts will discover us, and not long after that begins total squirrel Armageddon. So we
And I quote, my cousin calls this
The amputee game.
need to move fast. Luckily, we landed in a fairly safe position, so we'll just make our base here. We don't actually have enough time to develop a fully functional colony, but we can operate as a primitive hunter-gatherer tribe
We can pretend.
that has specialized entirely into guerrilla warfare.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different types of IEDs. Uh-huh.
Hello, warfare. You see, my plan is to transform
LARPing,
this
LARPing.
entire map into a functional squirrel-killing death trap. My hope is that by constructing a series of elaborate devices and pitfalls, we can reduce the squirrel numbers to manageable levels before we ever have to engage them in direct
What do we do with the
combat.
squirrels? Do we eat
Naturally,
them?
this is going to take a lot of resources, and so began the great deforestation of day one. We will repurpose every last blade of grass on this godforsaken planet as a weapon against our enemies. Oh,
Listen, you gotta do this to survive.
and I know you might be thinking, Reggie, just build a door. Squirrels can't open doors. That's correct. But much like wearing a strap-on to a bukkake party, it's just not in the spirit of the challenge. And so
I hope he didn't do it on purpose, but then there was actually some kind of special squirrel that does open the doors, and it would have just destroyed him.
our rule is that the squirrels must have clear access to our colonists at all times. It doesn't have to be safe or fast.
Shark
but
is
it
probably
must
just gonna
be
go around
available.
opening the doors.
Now, while we have already accepted our lifestyle as filthy, dirt-eating cretins, we will still require some basic amenities to prevent our colonists from going completely insane. As such, I began construction on a tasteful bedroom, as well as a slave labor research cave.
Bro, why is he like always there? Why is he like always there?
And that was day one. Research, wood gathering, and interior decorating, the trappings of any good genocide. But if we want to survive past day 20, our society will need to evolve into a more techno-militaristic and authoritarian regime.
How?
With my personal guidance, I think we can get there. The sun reluctantly rose again on this death world, and with some wood finally
Reggie, there's no way this is gonna work. Listen, I know my brother. I've seen his ability to sandbag. You were fucked.
stockpiled, I had our colonists begin construction on our main defensive project. I'm not sure that it's fair to call it a maze, since it's impossible to get lost, but it's a spiral-shaped structure meant to corral enemies into a single-file line. Not overly threatening in its own right, but I installed a mod that allows me to build rat traps. They are fairly cheap, and it only takes 2 to kill a squirrel. By filling our maze with over 200 rat
Wait, how does it take 2? You guys ever seen like a rat or a mouse trap? What kind of juiced up squirrels you got that they're going through the first one?
traps, I could guarantee our colonists some level of security, at least until we start dealing with the later
MVP?
waves of
Yeah, for the
squirrel
squirrels.
army. This would be our primary construction project for the next few days. During this time, nestled into the side of a mountain, was my team of research scientists, furiously folding and unfolding the same piece of paper in an attempt to extract some arcane knowledge. In time,
Bro, that feeling when you're supposed to be doing your homework and your mom is looking over your shoulder and you're pretending like you're doing the worksheet, but you're just like flipping stuff around.
we managed to discover some basic human necessities, such as power generation and chlorine gas. I have to say, there was something relaxing about watching the colonists
Oh, yes,
hard
war
at work,
crimes.
bending the very planet to their will and literally draining the swamps. It is tranquil in a way that belies the reality of this holy war. Complacency would mean death, and innovation life. Our scientists understood this, and we developed a way to jerry-rig some very low-tech turrets made and fueled entirely by wood. We outfitted our base's perimeter with these turrets and also began to spray down the surrounding area with water, thus turning the battlefield into a thick, muddy mire that would slow attacking
quagmire.
armies. By this point, food was beginning to become an issue. If we could survive for a few more weeks, we could transition to an
See guys, it's not just me. Nobody feeds you.
entirely squirrel-based diet, but for the time being, we would have to survive via turtle meat and photosynthesis. Our initial arrival may have been met with
Arnold.
sunny skies, but now rain has washed down on our base for the past 3 days. Possibly monsoon season, but also possibly an early warning sign that we are not welcome. It was maybe for this reason that I had no qualms in building toxic power generators just outside our base. Sure, it will eventually pollute the entire planet and destroy countless ecosystems, but if you shorten your time frame to 28 days, you'll realize there are a surprising amount of things that you simply
I like how you notice how we're talking about the just destroying the entire world and who's here.
I'm trying to look for who asked.
don't care about. With this, our colonists transitioned from construction to mining. I studied a lot of tape on the Viet Cong in preparation for this challenge, and the development of an intricate series of tunnels was key to their success as guerrilla warriors. We too could utilize this technique, popping out of the mountain to lob explosives at our enemies before disappearing into a vast darkness. Work carried on for the next few days. The occasional
Gotta
raider
learn
would
from the
show
best.
up to help us test our defenses, and our colonists colonists began to grow unhinged from their daily 2-hour
The slow, cold zoom in. I wonder who's the craziest.
horseshoe games in 40-degree weather. But as they say, life goes on. With the discovery of weapon manufacturing and artillery, our society is beginning to take form as an idiot savant of sorts. Basic sanitation and plumbing mystifies us entirely.
Americans are really just tall squirrels. Is it the D's nut jokes? We are guilty.
But building a fertilizer IED is a relatively uneventful affair, and so we began to add additional layers of redundancy to our defenses.
These
What's
caltrops?
that? You passed the rat trap maze? Amazing! Let's celebrate with a bouquet of Mark II grenades. Even got past the grenades, huh? Let's see how you do with
We
tight
skipped Mark
spaces
I.
filled with circular saws. Amazingly, despite these hazardous working conditions, none of our colonists have died in a freak accident, though they have certainly tried. The first wave of squirrels would soon be upon us. A certain tension fell over the colony as I began to wonder if our
these are like
preparations
7
would
days to
even
die
come
traps.
close to being adequate. It's one thing to kill a homeless man with rat traps. It's another thing entirely to stop 2,000 squirrels. My colonists finished the day in the workshop, preparing some flammable liquids and machine pistols for the coming days. The sun set and rose again, bringing with it an agent of destruction. A solitary squirrel nationalist. As expected, he didn't even make it past our turret, but the blood
Bro, it's the actual Vermintide.
set in motion the wheels of war. A war that would not end until there was no blood left to give. Some would view this first squirrel as a kind of Franz Ferdinand, a holy martyr even. We, however, viewed him as lunch. The next few squirrel attacks progressed without much trouble. Our colonists are awful at shooting, however their guns were designed in complete darkness by a person suffering from extreme heat stroke, so I think we're
With
just
no
lucky
hands
to be alive.
and no feet.
All in all, the days were flying by, and we even managed to acquire some reinforced
Wait, I just thought of something. Maybe that's kind of ableist. Because now that I think about it, there is a police report about that guy that literally like attacked and shot someone, and he has no arms and no legs. Dude straight up like tried to murk somebody with a firearm that he can fire on his own, and then pick the sucker up and like threw him in a car. I got all my legs. I still can't.
barrels from a traveling merchant. This would allow us to construct a small mortar battery in the back portion of our
Was that the
base,
same
which would
guy?
be essential to our late game defense. Day 21 was when the squirrel threat really began to register. Of the 16 attacking squirrels, several managed to make their way to our gun line, and they nearly killed Squire. For our safety, we now need to rely more and more on our extensive infrastructure of traps. This was
Jerk
a
on the firing
stressful
line, I'm
revelation.
proud.
The world was closing in on us now, and our colonists were nestled into their awkwardly designed fortress, mass-producing rat traps and fine-tuning the defenses of what might be their final stand. By noon of day 22, our next batch of enemies arrived.
And he would have gotten away with it too if not for the uploads of him shooting guns and those meddling kids. I think you're right. Like, he literally uploaded evidence showing that he was able to do stuff. You should have just hit it. Just shotguns in private. Now he's gonna be somebody's nugget.
32 squirrels, each one entirely intent on destroying
You
our
take my limbs,
micronation
but you'll
and
never take my
feasting on our
guns.
flesh. I had the colonists work through this attack because it was too dangerous to directly participate. The squirrels quickly overwhelmed our turrets, but the maze made short work of them. For now, the maze would be our guardian, but our ability to replenish it was rapidly diminishing relative to their ability to destroy it. We managed to survive day 20.
How do they handcuff him? I'm gonna pretend that question didn't happen. And I'm gonna press play again. And we're gonna be good people.
Nope.
3, thanks to an incredibly unlucky trade caravan being absolutely devoured by the wave of 64 squirrels. Despite their primitive weapons, the traders managed to whittle down the attacking army to a very manageable size, which we had no problem defeating. It was also at this point that I realized we could process the dead squirrels directly into chem fuel. This became the #1 priority of the colony, in addition to the basic maintenance of our exterior defenses. If I could convert hundreds of squirrels into hundreds of barrels of
VX
explosive
poison
liquid,
squirrel gas.
there's no telling what we could be capable of. It is now the 8th wave of Armageddon. 128 squirrels
Oh my
barreled
God.
down on us like a bulldozer full of rabies. However,
Whoa, it's like a river of squirrels. And all of them have put nuts in their mouth their entire life.
something strange is happening. Chunks of rock are falling from the sky and flattening our opponents. Initially, I thought it was a meteor shower, but then I remembered several days ago I had made blueprints for the construction of several catapults. I didn't even realize they had been completed.
Bro, they got like
Nevertheless,
ballista.
They were absolutely emasculating the attacking forces. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure this is a very ineffective weapon due to its poor accuracy, but when you're dealing with this many squirrels, you really can't miss. While the squirrels managed to disarm most of our rat traps by running into them face first, we now have a new and effective weapon. Our priority now is the
When in doubt,
construction
bomb
of
Iran.
as many catapults as humanly possible. We now have only a few days standing between us and total victory, but our
He's
base
still
is
there!
certainly
I need you guys to keep track because I need to know if he survives. Watch him be the only one to make it out.
looking a little worse for wear. Aside from the attrition inflicted on our defenses, our base is covered in the rotting bodies of hundreds of squirrels. And honestly, it's starting to freak some of us out a little bit. It's not clear if the squirrels adopted this Red Army style of warfare for these psychological advantages, but regardless, it's working. Panic attacks, murderous rage, and all forms of mental disorder are becoming increasingly prevalent among
Oh no, Squeer has flown into a murderous rage. He has decided to still Sorghum. This is nugget on nugget violence.
our colonists. Luckily, there is a one-size-fits-all medicine for these problems. A complex series of gang initiations to return you to your senses. It was at this point I realized we are no longer growing as a colony. Rather, our development has likely peaked around day 20, and every day after that, the squirrels have been rapidly eroding our progress. Our society is in a sort of tailspin, but so is the squirrel population. The question is, which will hit zero first? Wave after wave hit our base.
Last man standing.
256 became 512, which eventually became 1024.
This is like the freaking Australian cane toad thing. Just bomb it. Bomb it. It's done.
The second last wave of the entire challenge. Hundreds of kamikaze squirrels have left our catalog of traps dangerously thin, and
That's
I
all
felt as though our
nuts.
chances of survival were low. It is now time to initiate Scorched Earth tactics. Just prior to the arrival of the next wave, I had King and
All
Squire
tops?
shuffle their way through the sea of corpses to the front of the base, where they lit fire to the surrounding vegetation. This would hopefully spread outward, ravaging our enemies on approach. It may also spread inward, but at this point that might actually clean the place up a bit. I also had our mortar team load high explosive and toxin-filled shells for the attack. If these rodent fucks want us dead, they'll have to be prepared to reenact the Normandy landings every day for the rest
Reggie
of the
versus the
challenge.
furries, day
squirrels approached
26.
under heavy artillery fire. They reached the outer wall, at which point they assembled into a formation known only as FPS Killer.
Wait,
Initial
what? Did you notice
They
something?
assembled into a
Why is there like one lone random cassowary there?
Huh?
They're basically just raptors, by the way. They're like even more evil ostriches.
formation known only as FPS Killer. Initially, it looks like the squirrels aren't doing anything, but that's just
There he
because my
is!
game has involuntarily been put in slow motion, and the squirrel hive mind is now deciding how to best assault our defenses. Honestly, with these numbers, it doesn't really matter. The attackers washed upon us with all the grace of a ruptured sewage pipe, storming through my caltrops, surviving mineshaft collapses, and even showing surprising resilience to nerve gas. You'd think that at some
I'm not laughing. I have, a snorting compulsion when somebody says it's a squirrel DEI hire.
point the squirrels would wise up to our traps. I mean, they're literally slowly
He identifies
shuffling
as a
towards
squirrel,
them
yes.
in a single file line. But much like Chinese factory workers, they are simply unable to resist launching themselves into industrial machinery. Eventually, they did manage to prop open some of our doors and circumvent many of our traps entirely. That said, they weren't without their casualties. Fire was spreading through their ranks, and as they filtered into our final defensive position, we engaged them in a razor-thin fight to the death.
But we
Fearing
need, like,
this might be the
flamethrowers.
end, I had the remaining colonists ingest a highly potent combat drug known
Shark is about to take some MK Ultra. Here we go.
as Luciferum. It would kill us eventually, but then again, so would the squirrels. And so we
Nanite, son.
decided not to go quietly into that sweet night. For every inch of ground gained, they lost dozens to IEDs, arrow turrets, and withering gunfire. And after 21 consecutive hours of fighting, 1,024 squirrels lay defeated in various stages of our fortress. This moment is bittersweet. We survived, but our base is entirely demolished
Time
from
to
a
move.
combination of explosions, fire, and collateral damage. Furthermore, we've used up most of our
Why do I feel almost everybody is dead and it's just like it's just him? There's a gun beside him too. I think somebody died over here and he's just staring at me now.
Fuel and all of our munitions. And our colonists are going absolutely
welcome in,
fucking
Pancake.
nuts. With 3 hours left until the next wave, reality is
still
pounding
here.
on our door, and it's time to answer. We simply won't be able to survive these next 2,000 squirrels, but we might be able to kill them. For you, my final subscribers,
Scorched
the
Earth.
best fate I can offer is a Viking funeral. We collected the remaining chem fuel from our stockpile and scattered it
let's
around
go.
this large wooden warehouse. We're going to let all the squirrels into this structure, and then we're going to lock the door.
We're gonna
You
take
see,
'em
the
down with
rules of
us.
this challenge state that I'm not allowed to prevent the squirrels from getting to us, but we didn't say anything about preventing them from getting away from us. Once the squirrels have entered the house, Sebi will spring out from his hiding place, closing the door and trapping 2,000 squirrels and 8 colonists in our final trap. Day 28, noon. The final wave is upon us.
We're about to
Survival is
rip.
a thing of the past now. From here, we are concerned only with sending a message of human resilience and of hope for a better, squirrel-free world. For legal purposes, I am required to disclose that there is no subtext to what I am currently saying. I tried my best to create a funnel that would allow for maximum squirrel acquisition within our remaining moments of life. I had fashioned one last incendiary fertilizer trap and placed it in the center of the base. At this point, the 2,000 squirrels were marauding their way through our base, and
I'm not stuck
eventually
in here
they
with
started
you.
pouring into the warehouse.
You're stuck in
We
here with
gunned
me.
down all we could, but eventually the trap was triggered,
It was a
igniting
good
the
run.
inferno that would rage as a monument to the ferocity of these 10 brave men. The doors are locked.
Let's be real with each other, guys. Last time the squirrels, what happened? The slowdown and the FPS. The only thing that's getting lit on fire right now is probably his computer.
Escape is impossible. And
Like
though the
0.4
squirrels
frames.
struck us down, I think we managed some sort of deranged moral victory through self-immolation. I'd like to observe a moment of
No,
silence
shark!
for those lost today.
Wait, it's him! He died. He died for our cause. Remember him.
And with that, our challenge is over. We may have lost the battle, but from what I've seen here, I think we can win the war. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think Rimworld has exceptional creative potential, and
This is
I've
the
even
best rim
hired
job
some
ever.
modders to help me bring my drug-induced visions to life. One big shout out to our channel members and patrons, and finally, thank you for watching.
Thank you, Shark, and the other viewers for being the kamikazes we all needed. Leave it to somebody of my bloodline to go out like that.